Hello, my name is Cody Dunlap, and this is my Module 5 Community Snapshot Google Slide presentation. The communities and district that I'll be talking about is the Natoma, Paradise, and Waldo communities in north central Kansas. They're tied to the Natoma, Paradise, and Waldo School District, USD 399. So as far as customs and traditions, I can say that all the communities really support the school, and they do not want to lose the school and all that it brings to the communities. These communities are not terribly fast acting. Like to meet and make sure they have the best ideas before making a decision. As far as employment goes, very heavily agricultural, and there are quite a few in the oil industry as well. We have a heavy religious population in our communities. There's 5 churches, which doesn't sound like a lot, but within Natoma, Paradise, and Waldo, and I guess Codell could be added to that. We're talking about 450 people maybe total. So then we have a group outside the lines that helps with planning and works with the school as far as 5th quarter parties after athletic events and things like that. So community loves to be kept in the loop. There was a digital sign that was put out at the community library, and community members absolutely love that because it shows what's happening at the school, what's happening around town. They just love knowing details. As a general consensus, change is not usually accepted super well, but does need ample time to just be processed. So as far as the population, definitely mixed levels of high school and college graduates. You can see on this slide a very high level of high school graduates, and then the numbers just keep dropping until 4.1% have a master's degree, and that is in Natoma alone. All of those come from Natoma alone there. So it seems like more and more of the younger crowd in our communities are leaving, which leaves the average age more increased than it was. You can see the unemployment rate there at 3.3%, and not a lot of diversity within our communities. This figure is for the community of Natoma, but across the board, 95% plus Caucasian. Communication, we're lucky here, nestled between Russell and Hayes, and the things that we got going on in our own communities. Lots of forms of communication. We've got obviously our website at the school. We have a school channel on Next Tech TV. And again, we've got that digital sign. The radio station in Russell, KRSL, does a lot of things, especially athletics-wise. They come over and broadcast our games. Natoma has a little section in the Russell paper called the Natoma Luray Independent that we can get included in on at any time. Obviously, those publications in Hayes. We do have a social media presence. But we do not necessarily have a foreign language presence in our communities. As far as our community groups, we have what most communities probably do: Lions Club, Ladies Auxiliary, the Heritage Club, obviously our volunteer fire department, our EMTs. There is, again, an influence by the churches, the different religions in the area. We obviously have the city council that helps govern. There are 5 members, and 3 of them work in the school, so we have a very close relationship there. With the Board of Education, we have our district site council within the school, and then we also have a Natoma Pride organization, which really helps with just bringing the community together. Pride organization just this last month organized a city cleanup day, and they do things like snowman competitions and scarecrow competitions and things like that, just ways to bond the community. As far as our leadership, we have some people that influence the rest of the community. Obviously the mayor, the city council, our superintendent and principal are rolled into one person because of the size of our district, and so that person holds a lot of influence and power. The Board of Education, obviously the community group leaders like the Lions Club president, the Ladies Auxiliary president, the Natoma Pride president, and then we have a few certain wealthy individuals that definitely influence decisions as well. And obviously the people that are affected by those influencing agents are obviously just members in the community, faculty members and students in regards to the superintendent, principal, and the Board of Education, and then community group members when talking about those groups in the community. So as far as our leaders' characteristics in our communities, again, I go back to that meetings. Meetings are super vital. Case in point, there was a situation at the school right before, actually the last day before Christmas break, and the superintendent called a special board meeting that night to visit with them, and so that just helps drive that point home. A lot of leaders have stayed in Natoma. Again, the age is increasing. We have a lot of lifelong members of the community that are helping to lead the community along, and they make themselves very easy to be connected. Because of those people, they've gotten to establish relationships. They're well connected to information, or they know how to get in a hold of someone who does have the information that they need. And again, because even though we're talking about 4 communities, Natoma, Paradise, Waldo, and then Codell as well, each of them are small, collectively, but then each individual community is very small, and so the leaders in those communities, their actions are well known. They're open for all to see, and so leaders have possibility just by simple conversation to make a change without having to enforce a final decision. Our economic conditions, again, these some of these are about Osborne County, but most will be specifically of Natoma because that's where the school buildings are at. Again, we have an accounting office in town, and that would hold our those government reports and the business reports. Obviously, you can find our county data through the Census Bureau. A lot of this you'll see at the bottom I did find from city-data.com. You can see our median wage listed there. Of course, we've got a lot of agricultural use out of our land. Some land value there, specifically in town, obviously. Our tax rate at 8%. And then, there is, in our city hall, our district business office, we do have someone available almost all the time if there's pieces of information that you don't have that you need. As far as our political structure, superintendent keeps us in the loop if we aren't already ourselves to current legislation. Obviously keeps the board connected. Definitely we have conversations and visits about those mill levies. The principal not only keeps the Board of Education in the loop, but also us as well, whether a piece of legislation has passed or is in the makings to pass. And then because of certain things that we do in the community, such as like our Veterans Day program, we have legislatures that are very connected to us. Our superintendent knows us, a state senator or two. We have a couple of House representatives that join us during that Veterans Day program. So we have some legislators that are close. They come back. Those same two come back for our Labor Day parade and festivities during that weekend as well. So we have some connection there from politics to our community. As far as social tensions, no gangs or interracial tensions that of course that I know of. But some of our cliques include our, athletics, pool together. Our agricultural folks do, the people in the oil business, and then our religious folks also. But I don't feel like there is a discrimination per se. They just kind of keep to themselves. And sometimes our economic levels can cause divisions, and people get looking sideways at those that have money and are making decisions. Kind of the point that I make there is, there's a wealthy family in town that owns a lot of real estate, and so they get to make a lot of choices with the people that they let in their houses. And there's been some teachers that have wanted houses to live in Natoma and teach there, and for whatever reason they haven't been able to get a house, and so they have to drive from 15 miles away, or even from Hayes, that's 40 miles, and so there could be some tensions there. Of course, you can get extra information about our communities and the district from school records. Of course, if you have educational rights to the student, we do give out the KSD Perception Survey and the Kansas Communities that Care Survey. We have a telephone book that specifically, it was actually delivered just last week, specifically to Northwest Kansas. Of course, you can look at the census, and then the Board of Education minutes for the previous meeting are always, and actually might be for the whole school year, are always listed on our school website. As far as power structures, again, we have those community members with the financial pull to influence the decisions. I was talking about the real estate market there, and already alluded to that. We do, because we are smaller, we have businesses that choose to sponsor certain things in our school, and we hope that the businesses would never want to pull out of that, because our students come to really depend on those sponsorships. And then, of course, we have the families that have been around, and we definitely couldn't do it without it, but they feel very connected, and they feel like they need to be heard and in charge, because they have been here literally their whole lives. As far as multicultural issues, our principal superintendent obviously takes things within the school very seriously. We don't have much diversity, but those that are, and regardless of whether it has to do with racial issues or cultural issues, within the school, not a problem. And classes are educated on different cultures. I know in the elementary building where I work, you can walk up and down and see student work, things that may promote multicultural ideas. Then, of course, we have dress code that impresses modesty upon the students, and obviously the dress code makes no racial or cultural discriminations to any students. So our power structure, again, we've kind of talked about a couple of these areas, the wealth and the religion. Because we're so small, we got to work as best we can. The school tries all we can, but we don't have a community relation plan in place. So maybe something we need to look into. As far as measuring public opinion, we like to hold, again, probably because of our size, it's easier for us to do this, but we hold, full community meetings. The last few years, we've talked about co-oping in athletics with a community close by. And then just this last year, we transitioned to a 4-day school week, and we had meetings, in preparation for that, just getting the feel from the community, all communities involved with the school in that. And then, of course, I could leave the school, go down to the gas station, and talk to 3 or 4 people while I'm down there about things that happen in the school. So just being able to have those informal interviews with community members about things that are going on and get their opinions. But as far as surveys, we have mailed surveys with big decisions. They're certainly not given out on a regular basis, because we feel like the face-to-face conversations are obviously the best place to get the public's opinion. So that has been my Module 5 video presentation. Thank you all for watching.